So for those of you who don't know, on an Ask Hugo recently, we did a thing where we said, hey, if you want to write us some fan fiction or some weird porn about us, you can feel free to do so.
And we got some on Facebook from Hannah, whose last name we are not going to give so you don't stalk them on Facebook. But thank you, Hannah. You know who you are.
So we're going to go ahead and act that out for you guys. And it is, it's in the style of a manga in that it's right to left.
I like that you said it correctly, because I've always said manga, and then I get yelled at by the nerds.
You should get yelled at.
You're a bunch of nerds.
It's just wrong. Anyway.
So, hold on. Which one am I? Am I the...
You're the bearded one.
I'm the bearded one.
Clearly. You look just like us.
Your face looks a little weird in the first panel. You look like a fucking manatee. What's up with that?
Pretty... I think it's accurate.
The hair is... You got like a weird note. I don't know.
Anyway. Do you think they fell for it?
Probably. The furry lolly comment should have thrown them off.
I can't wait to start reading those fanfics.
Neither can I. That was us making out.
Yeah, wait, do you think they know about our kid? Thump.
Is that us? So is that us fucking? Or is that us just like being mean to the kid?
No, I'm seeing feet. That kid is listening to us make sweet love in the room above them.
Oh, good. At least I don't have feline AIDS. Because you're human, you have regular AIDS.
That is a solid callback.
Did we say that we were going to make our children do manual labor?
We did. We talked about child slavery.
Oh,
and it all tied together. So see...
Beautiful. That was great.
If anyone thinks we're not doing anything with our lives, that comic sums up what we're all about, and now I'm depressed.
Hugo and Jake, the Bible is jaded, and most of the taken, so get educated with Hugo and Jake. Pull up a pew and stop what you're doing, it's Bible reloaded time. They call it unhated, the theist will hate it, I'm talking to taken, but it's Hugo and Jake. So on with the show then, it's not candy coated, it's the Bible reloaded with Hugo and Jake, with Hugo and Jake.
Hello everyone, I'm Hugo.
And I am Jake.
And this is the Bible Reloaded, and we are back yet again to talk about the fucking Bible.
The fucking Bible. Wouldn't that be cool if it was called the fucking Bible and it was just a bunch of porn moves?
Yeah.
This one's called the Double Lotus, and you splay open and lay next to each other and look at each other's junk.
That sounds awful. I don't need to
lotus.
stare headlong into someone's junk to know that I don't need to look at it. I need to put things there. My eyes aren't meant to be there. Anyway, if you remember what happened last time, that's good, because I don't.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while since we recorded this, because Jake has moved across the country, so we're doing this over the internet.
The internet is a glorious thing. So last time, there was bad things that happened, and Alicia did some other stuff. Basically, the siege was lifted, some people were eating babies and shit, and that ended it, and then things got cheap.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the whole bag.
So today we're beginning in 2 Kings chapter 9. We're skipping a couple things. All that happens is there's a regime switch, but it's not all that important to what happens now. You get it from context. So today we are beginning in 2 Kings chapter 9. Jehu appointed king of Israel. The prophet Elisha summoned a man from the company of the prophets and said to him, "Tuck your cloak into your belt, take this flask of olive oil with you, and go to Ramoth Gilead."
I like that the first thing he did, though, was he critiqued his dress.
Well, that's what you gotta do.
You are not fancy enough for this yet.
It's like when you work in some sort of service industry and they're like, okay, tuck that shit in, wear a belt, you gotta look
nice. Come in
nice.
cleanly shaven, get your shit together.
When you get there, look for Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi. Go to him, get away from his companions, and take him into an inner room. Then take the flask and pour the olive oil on his head and declare, "This is what the Lord says, I anoint you king of Israel." Then open the door and run. Don't delay.
So you're gonna go in and you're basically gonna flash mob this guy. You're gonna go, "Oil, you're king," and then you book it.
Yeah, it's drive-by kinging.
That's so weird. That's great though. I like that they're getting more creative with the kinging of people.
Well, they used to take a long time and it was really drawn out. It was like a whole chapter and they're like, Solomon, let me take you and explain to you the duties, and then you can babble, and then people will say, "Is Solomon among the prophets?" And now it's like, no, fuck it, just olive oil. The olive oil was the important part of the story, so just get that, run away.
This is the equivalent of getting a little paper bag, putting dog shit in it, lighting it on fire, and running away. After you put it on someone's porch. And then when they pick it up and stamp it out, they're king now.
Okay, instead of dog shit, it's the monarchy. Okay.
Yeah.
So the young prophets went to Ramoth Gilead. When he arrived, he found the army officers sitting together. "I have a message for you, commander," he said. "For which of us?" asked Jehu. He just said the commander. He has a very short attention span. He's not a very good commander. He doesn't listen to instructions very well.
It's very awful.
That's why they put him in charge. He couldn't follow directions, so they're like, we better just make him having the decision-making.
He's the Starscream.
Yeah, basically. Jehu got up and went into the house. Then the prophet poured the oil on Jehu's head and declared, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anoint you king over the Lord's people of Israel. You are to destroy the house of Ahab, your master, and I will avenge the blood of my servants, the prophets, and the blood of all of the Lord's servants shed by Jezebel."
He took a little artistic liberty at the end of the whole "I anoint you king," and then he's like, "Also, you have to murder people."
Yeah, he didn't really do what the guy told him to do. And if you
No.
don't remember, Jezebel was a person who came into power. She was the wife or something similar. She's the person who the person in charge was putting his dick into at the time.
Yeah.
And she used her coercive charms, and by charms I mean her tight vagina, to coerce the king into allowing worship of other gods other than Yahweh.
Sort
And
of
that's
like,
why they're mad.
Yeah, Cleopatra-ish.
Sure. This is also where the name Jezebel comes from. Like, you ever hear, like, old-timey people be like, "Oh, she's a Jezebel." That's what they're
Meaning
talking
hooker.
about. A temptress. I don't think it means hooker
A
necessarily.
hooker slut.
Sure, hooker slut.
You
whatever
double
want.
down on it.
Verse 8. "The whole house of Ahab will perish. I will cut off from Ahab every last male of Israel, slave or free." I'm glad he
Ooh.
said that. Remind us that slavery is okay in the Bible at this point. "I will make the house of Ahab like the house of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha, son of Ahijah. As for Jezebel, dogs will devour her on a plot of land at Jezreel, and none of them will bury her." Then he opened the door and he ran.
So she's gonna get eaten by dogs, which I hope happens soon, because that's exciting.
When Jehu went out to his officers, one of them asked, "Is everything all right? Why did this maniac come to you?" "You know the man and the sort of things he says," Jehu replied. Well, just that guy specifically? Or are they
Yeah, that
talking
guy.
about because he's a servant of Elisha, or this specific messenger of Elisha is known for making shit up and being like, "He told me to make you king, but let me also tell you to murder people." "That's not true," they said. "Tell us."
They know what's up.
Jehu said, "Here is what he told me. This is what the Lord says. I anointed you king over all Israel." They quickly took their cloaks and spread them under him on the bare steps. Then they blew the trumpet and shouted, "Jehu is king!"
Wow, they're really easy to win over immediately. They're like, "Oh, sure."
I know, they were like, here's my opinion on the story. This is not scholarly at all. This is just me saying bullshit, and I'm going to be completely open about that. This seems like the kind of story that they would write later to try and justify a military coup that they did or
Yeah.
something. Like, it seemed like the military officials at the time, this Jehu guy or whoever it's based off of, was mad with the regime for whatever reason. Maybe it was religious reasons, maybe that was a cover, I don't know. But it seems like he decided to take over and was like, "Yeah, God told me to do it." This guy came, and no one was there to hear him say it, but he did. So now
Right.
I'm king, and I have the
Yeah.
military behind me. So fuck you.
Pretty much, everyone's heard the sort of the phrase. It's like history's on the side of the winner.
Yeah.
So looks like Jehu won
Good job,
because
Jehu.
we're talking about him.
Rooting for you.
So the next part of this becomes pretty much a Tarantino revenge flick, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. He actually just kills the shit out of tons of people. Like, not indiscriminately, but if they have the right last name, he's like, "Okay, time for you to die."
Right. This is great. We're getting some of our David-esque bloodlust back into the Bible. I dig it.
I know, I miss David.
I don't miss mining for Hasselhoff pictures on the internet, though.
All you need is one. One with his shirt off. That's the one you need.
This is the one. That's the one you need.
So Jehu, son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi, conspired against Joram. Jehu said, "If you desire to make me king, don't let anyone slip out of the city to go and tell the news in Jezreel."
Yeah, this
So
is
he's trying to-
totally a cover-up, man.
He's trying to keep the whole city. No one can leave the city. I don't want them to know what's going on. They can't know I'm doing bad things. Whatever.
I can't know I'm gonna be king. It's a shh.
It's a secret king thing. I'll be the king, but no one will know. Well, then you're not really king. Nah, I'll be king. I'll know. So really, you're just a guy with a fancy chair. Yeah, I pretty much want the chair.
Yeah.
Then he got into his chariot and rode to Jezreel, because Joram was resting there, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, had gone down to see him. When the lookout, standing out in the tower in Jezreel, saw Jehu's troops approaching, he called out, "I see some troops coming."
Thanks, Bible.
"Get a horseman," Joram ordered. "Send him to meet them and ask, 'Do you come in peace?'"
One horseman, please.
Just one. That's the
This is-
standard. There's a
His
story-
name is actually Horseman.
Yeah, David Horseman.
David Horseman, come out.
The horse rode off to meet Jehu and said, "This is what the king says. Do you come in peace?" "What do you have to do with peace?" Jehu replied. "Fall in behind me."
Whoa.
The lookout reported, "The messenger has reached them, but he isn't coming back." He was also really flimsily aligned with the king. He's like, this guy just told me to get behind him. I guess I should do that. Maybe he was really imposing. He was the John Cena of the day. Everyone knew don't fuck with him.
You got those tiny little fingers.
Just weird hands.
Weird sausage hands.
I don't trust any adult who wears sweatbands for any reason. That's a fact. Under Armour's been around long enough where there's no excuse for the sweatbands. So the king sent out a second horseman.
Greg Horseman.
Greg Horseman?
Yeah, it's
Gregory.
Gregory.
So they're brothers.
Gregory Horseman, yeah.
When he came to them, he said, "This is what the king says. Do you come in peace?" Jehu replied, "What do you have to do with peace? Fall in behind me."
There's another one. The Horseman brothers, very susceptible to peer pressure. They got
lookout-
bullied a ton.
Yeah, they really stick together. If one leaves, they're like, I don't really want to, but I have to now, so now I guess it's me, him, against the king's entire army. The lookout reported, "He has reached them, but he isn't coming back either. The driving is like that of Jehu, son of Nimshi. He drives like a maniac."
Driving? So Jehu has a car.
He has a car. I like to think that they are observant enough that they can tell who someone is by their chariot patterns. He's kind of erratic. He's either a really old chariot guy or it's Jehu.
He's
Those
just
are the only
famously
options.
awful at it.
"Hitch up my chariot," Jerome ordered. When it was hitched up, Jerome, king of Israel, and Ahaziah, king of Judah, rode out, each in his own chariot, to meet Jehu. They met him at the plot of ground that had belonged to Naboth the Jezreelite. When Jerome saw Jehu, he asked, "Have you come in peace, Jehu?" "How can there be peace?" Jehu replied, "as long as all the idolatry and witchcraft of your mother Jezebel is around." That's he called him out. He said, "Bitch."
Talking shit.
Joram turned and fled, calling out to Ahaziah, "Treachery, Ahaziah!"
Treachery! What? In what context?
My life goal is that I will be important enough that at some point I can yell out treachery and it will be completely appropriate. Like something will have happened, I will be double-crossed, and I can yell treachery, and they won't be like, "Why is this dude saying treachery? He works at like White Castle or on YouTube." They'll say,
Those
"No,
are pretty similar.
this is a person in a position of power that can say treachery, and it is applicable."
What about, there are other words that fit too, like tomfoolery!
Now, see, tomfoolery is sort of, it's not a double cross. Tomfoolery is they're kind of going around your back.
Right, it doesn't have to be a double cross to be able to yell just a single word.
It does. There are certain appropriate situations where treachery is allowed, and I think you will abuse the treachery rights, which is why you'll never get to the point where you're allowed to say treachery.
Well, what if it's in a different context, like someone fucks up your McChicken and you just run to the streets and go, McChicken!
See, no, then you're a crazy person who cares way too much about McChicken. It has to be proportionate response. I want something bad enough to happen to me that I can say treachery and it's okay.
The only thing I can think about that would happen to you is the word rape.
Yeah. So that'll happen, and then I'll yell treachery.
It'll be me.
Okay.
Joke. Yeah.
Then Jehu drew his bow and shot Joram between the shoulders. The arrows pierced his heart, and he slumped down in his chariot.
Well, that was a good shot.
That's why you don't turn your back on someone who says they're going to murder you. Really bad idea. Jehu said to Bidkar, his chariot officer, "Pick up and throw him in the field that belonged to Naboth the Jezreelite. Remember how you and I were riding together in the chariots behind Ahab, his father, when the Lord spoke this prophecy against him?"
I guess.
I guess. "Yesterday I saw the blood of Naboth and the blood of his sons, declares the Lord. I will surely make you pay for it on this plot of ground, declares the Lord. Now then, pick up and throw him on the plot in accordance with the words of the Lord." So this is a prophecy that they have decided needs to be included. It's not even in a different chapter. They're retroactively in the story saying, hey, remember that prophecy that we didn't mention before? They're getting lazier with the prophecies, if that's even possible. They're getting to the point where they're just like, oh, we wrote the thing. Should we go back and write a prophecy as if it was written before? Nah, just write it after and have the characters talk about it in past tense. That's fine. People will get it.
It's inside canon. It's like when you find books in like a Morrowind or Skyrim.
It's not even that. It's poorly written lore.
Okay, that's fine.
This wouldn't even fly in fucking Oblivion. They were terrible. When Ahaziah, the king of Judah, saw what had happened, he fled to the road to Beth Hagen. Jehu chased him, shouting, "Kill him too!" They wounded him and his chariot on the way to Gur, near Iblam. But he escaped. These are really good names.
Those are really guttural names. Gur and Iblim.
But he escaped to Megiddo, wow, that sounds like a fucking Power Ranger thing. His servant took him by the chariot to Jerusalem and buried him with his ancestors in the tomb of the city of David. In the 11th year of Joram, son of Ahab, Ahaziah had become king of Judah, in case you needed to know that. Wow. So today we're going to go ahead and finish with Jezebel killed. Jezebel dies. I don't know why they name things like this. Maybe if I was like reading this for recreation, I'd be really pissed off.
It could be called, What Happens to Jezebel?
Yeah, see, at least that's clickbaity. See, if I don't like BuzzFeed, but if they wrote the Bible, at least it'd be like, a flood's coming and Noah has 160 years. You'll never believe what he does.
Top 3 fan theories on how Jezebel's gonna die.
Top 10 things you shouldn't do if you don't want to go to hell.
Top 10 ways to hide your abuse from your pastor.
So anyway, Jezebel killed. Then Jehu went to Jezreel. When Jezebel heard about it, she put on eye makeup, arranged her hair, and looked out of a window.
Ooh, so she's looking pretty fly tonight.
It's weird, though, because they just killed her adult sons. So she's not in her 20s or 30s, maybe 30s if she had, like, a kid at a really young age, as she would in this culture.
Sure.
But, like, she's kind of a cougar for the time. She's a cougar putting on her makeup. She's gonna die real sexy. By the way, if anyone can hear all that pounding in the background, they're doing work on my apartment. I apologize.
No, what they're doing is they're doing work on someone else against the wall. Something is getting real passionate in the old apartment complex. They have real slappy balls.
As Jehu entered the gate, she asked, "Have you come in peace, you Zimri, you murderer of your master?" He looked up at the window and called out, "Who was on my side? Who?" 2 or 3 eunuchs looked down at him. Eunuchs! Wow, we haven't talked about eunuchs yet.
Eunuchs don't have balls.
Yeah, they, like, cut off their testicles, and they're just, like, not really asexual, but they have no sexual desire, or at least that's the idea.
Usually the point is purification as far as, like, you want to remain holy, but sometimes it's also a punishment, depending on what happens, so I have no idea what these eunuchs did.
For reference, if you want some real good historical context, go watch the Mel Brooks film, History of the World Part 1. They have some eunuchs. Learn about their balls not being there.
There's a eunuch in Game of Thrones.
There's a eunuch in Year 1 with Jack Black, which is just trash.
So pick one of those, and then assess your life after the fact.
I thought when I saw that movie, Jack Black deserves better, but then I remembered he was in the Neverending Story 3, and I remembered, this is where he deserves to be.
Wasn't he also... He's got bit parts in so many things.
Yeah, he was in fucking Gulliver's Travels, the really shitty version.
Yeah, but he was like a headlining in that one. He was also in some other movies. Was he in Twister?
No, that was Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour Hoffman? Well, you know. It's the same, right?
Jack Black is like the bizarro Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah, he's pretty much the opposite. He's still alive.
Not as talented. Funny guy. No awards to be heard of, but he'll keep making films and probably won't OD.
And we wish it was you, Jack.
I'll stick to Ted Danson being Gulliver. Thank you very much. I like my Lemuel Gulliver to be the ex-owner of a sports bar.
Wow, that's a deep Ted Danson reference there.
That's not that deep. That's the one Ted Danson reference you can make. That's the one thing he was in.
Right, I know, but Danson's already at the bottom of the well anyways. Some people are going to know the dancing things, and other people are going to be like, why are they still talking about this? Don't worry about it. We're moving on right now.
Throw her down, Jehu said. So they threw her down, and some of her blood splattered the wall and the horses, and they trampled her underfoot. So a bunch of dudes without balls threw her over a ledge, and she presumably died upon impact. And that's how Jezebel died. So if you
I thought she was going to get eaten by dogs.
Oh, you'll see. It happens. Don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, good.
Jehu went in and ate and drank. "Take care of that cursed woman," he said. "That's some weird Game of Thrones Tarantino shit. Murder someone, walk in, start eating their food. Take care of that for me. I'm in charge now." He said, "Bury her, for she was the king's daughter." But when they went to bury her, they found nothing except her skull, her feet, and her hands.
Whoa, that's kind of... They say skull. Does that mean it had no skin or hair on it anymore? Or is it just her whole head?
There was probably enough skin on it that you could say it was her, but I'm a little curious about the hands. The meat on your hands must be real bad for eating if the dogs didn't want it. Then they went back to Jehu, who said, "This is the word of the Lord," and he spoke through his servant Elisha the Tishbite. "On the plot of ground at Jezreel, the dogs will devour Jezebel's flesh. Jezebel's body will be like dung on the ground in the plot of Jezreel, so that no one will be able to say, 'This is Jezebel.'"
Okay, so what if she just like did some, Tupac stuff and faked her own death?
then I don't know what she would be doing. What would Jezebel have an ulterior motive for? What would she be going to do that she needs anonymity and for people
She
to
wants
think
to be a
she's
rapper.
dead? She's a rapper, but
Yeah,
like
it's
biblical
like the opposite of what Tupac did.
rapper. So instead of moving to Jamaica or whatever Tupac did, she started out as some sort of queen type deal, and then she faked her
Right.
death, and now was an underground rapper in
Right.
like 800
She would-
BC.
Yeah, she was like, it was like 8 Mile rap battles, but in like caves and shit because they didn't have clubs.
Oh, okay. I don't think that's true, but I'd like to believe it is because it's better.
Her first
than...
album was called Finna Fuck You Up, yo.
That's not even an album title. That's barely a
Word.
sentence. God, I'm so disillusioned by today's rap game. Ain't nothing like it was when Biggie was in the house. Is that a thing people would say?
What people say is it's like an East Coast, West Coast thing.
So that's it for this episode. Next time, he's gonna go out and kill a ton more people. Again, if there was banging, I apologize. They're working on my apartment,
don't.
and I hate them.
So we're doing our fall Teespring drive. So right now, t-shirts are available. We have some bordered ones, we have some borderless ones, and we may have an alternate design or something. Haven't set it up yet, but we also are trying a Teespring store, so maybe you guys can get these all the time after this. But these ones are limited for now, so get yours while they last. Usually we sell out pretty quickly, so you're going to want to jump on it pretty fast. And then make sure to tweet us or get us on Facebook with your shirt on. And I have a bunch of pictures. I want to do a montage for the end of the year thing, maybe with some Green Day or
Green
some
Day?
other, but like unlicensed version of The Time of Your Life.
Hope you had a pretty good time, everyone, with shirts. I'll sing it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll
I'll
be great.
learn, I'll learn the 3 chords necessary.
Doon, 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 doon,
Doon,
yeah.
doon, doon, doon. Yeah.
We could get Matt to do it. Matt Dillahunt, he does guitars. So yeah. So get your t-shirt right there at the clickety clack. You could also follow Hugo at Hugo Reloaded.
You'd follow Jake at Bible Reloaded.
You could also subscribe, and you could get more of the things that we do with the Bible and the chick tracks and the movies and the t-shirts.
You can always check out our Patreon and donate to that. If you donate any amount of money, you have access to our Patreon-only hangouts. That should be coming next week, I think. Again, things have been a little weird with Jake moving, so we're trying to figure out exactly what the best way and time to do that will be.
This one will be in the middle of the month, and then the next one will be like the first week of November, most likely.
Yeah. So, thanks, everyone. Until next time, I'm Hugo.
And I am Jake.
And this has been the Bible Reloaded.
And next week we go to that carpenter's house and we fucking bang on his walls all day while they're trying to do their stuff on the internet. I hope he's jacking off, and I hope my banging fucks up his rhythm and he never blue balls himself.